Well, hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Raising Amazing Tween Girls Show. I'm your host, Lisa Tony with Girl Tribe Nation, where we love tween girls and the moms who are raising them. This show is for all the mamas in the house. Girl Tribe Nation is raising a generation of tween girls to be smart, healthy, brave, and find a whole lot more happy in their lives. I'm so glad that you are here today. What a great episode that we have for you today. We are going to be talking through an issue that I know that you are experiencing in your household with your tween. How much independence should I give my tween daughter? What a great question. She's growing up and ready to be more independent for sure. But how much is too much? Where is the line? You're going to use this episode to navigate that difficult balance of treating her as a kid and helping her move forward to becoming more grown up. Now, if you ever lay awake at night wondering how you should build more responsibility into her life, or maybe you get a little anxious wondering if you are doing the right things for your tween, this is just what you need. Now, when our tween girls are going through puberty, those hormones keep things a-changin' all the time. So we need to be attentive parents that can adapt and stay engaged. Today, we are talking about growing her sense of responsibility through giving her more independence. Now, it's a tricky call because she is growing up, but she is not yet a grown-up. Now, she is still a kid, but she has this need for independence, and we want to use that in a way that is positive, that is building responsibility, rather than in a way that is going to take her down a destructive road. I mean, have you ever been wondering when to let her go by herself somewhere and when to go with her? Have you been wondering if she's old enough to have her own phone or have her own social media accounts? Have you noticed that she wants to, spend some more time alone in her room, or maybe even spend more time with her friends? All of these questions swirl through our heads. Is it okay? Should I let her? Should I not? Don't worry, I have a plan for you on how to help navigate this transition into independence while also instilling in your girl a sense of responsibility. I've got you covered. I've even created a fabulous, completely free Girl Tribe Nation discussion guide for you that goes along with this episode. I think you are going to be really happy to have this to help you and your girl determine where she is in her readiness for more independence. You're gonna love it, and it's gonna be a super helpful mama assessment tool for you. And finally, you might be thinking that raising a tween girl is just plain hard. Drama, emotions, moodiness, eye rolls. I know, these can be some challenging years, but you are not alone. Raising amazing tween girls is here for you. We completely believe that these are great years with wonderful moments for you to spend with your girl. I had a sweet moment this year where I suddenly realized that my tween daughter was actually coming home and doing pretty good at sitting down and doing her homework. So good at it that honestly, it was a relief. I didn't have to repeat myself over and over like I do with my younger kids. However, it also meant that I trusted that she knew how to do all her work and that it was getting all done, which was not always the case. I had made that assumption. So this growing up thing is so good when they take responsibility, and it's so hard to navigate as a mom because our tweens are still kids in a lot of ways too. So we have to learn how to mom a little bit differently. This episode is going to help you take some of the guesswork out of knowing when and how much to feed your tweens growing, emerging independence. Guys, I'm so excited about today's episode because I know it is one that is going to be helpful to all the mamas out there. Now, I know that your daughter is starting to spend more time on her own and wanting a little bit more privacy and a little bit more independence. Now, sometimes this is such a good thing, right? Let's be honest, because you get a little bit of a break. And who doesn't love that? But sometimes when you are on these breaks, you end up missing spending more time with her. I get it. It is the heart of a mama. Now, do you remember when she was a little girl and you could hold her hand and help her to look both ways before she crossed the street? You would look both ways and you do it together, and then maybe some of you even had like amazing songs or rhymes that you would do together. And then when the coast was clear, you'd cross. So easy. It was safe. It was accomplished. But now you are at this crossroads in her life where she is looking down the street one way as a child and she is looking down the street the other way as a young adult. And it's hard to know how to encourage her to emerge as a young adult without pushing too much too fast. On the other hand, you do want her to enjoy being a kid as long as she can, but she can't stay there forever. So you know she does need to be pushed a little bit to grow up. It's a hard dilemma. It's this crossroads of independence. It's a central juncture of puberty. Now, part of our job as parents is to help our kids grow up to be well-adjusted, functioning, contributing members of society. That means in some ways we are working our way out of a job. Now, don't worry, not completely. I mean, your girl is always going to need her mom. But it does look a little bit different, doesn't it? They need us not quite the same way that they needed us as babies or toddlers. I mean, remember those days when they were babies and toddlers? They needed us for everything. I mean, literally everything. For, well, not breathing, they could do that, but eating, drinking, bathing, getting dressed. Oh man, remember potty training days? Whew, I wasn't sure I was gonna get past those, but we did get past those. She got past those, she learned. Now, there may have been some really challenging years, but she keeps moving forward with growing independence. I mean, think about all the milestones you've already accomplished, tying her own shoes, and taking her own bath, and doing her own hair, and getting dressed on her own. We cheered her on as she learned each new thing, and as she took each new step. Now, moving towards independence is a normal next step. It is healthy, and it's something that we need to champion. All these milestones are wonderful to see her progressing. But when we hit some of the large independent strides in her growing desires at puberty, it is more like we are, I don't know, hovering with a yellow light at a traffic light. I mean, raise your hand if you hit the gas when you see a yellow light. Okay, now the rest of you, raise your hand if you hit the brakes when you see a yellow light. I mean, sometimes you need to go through that yellow light, and sometimes you need to put the brakes on. And there's not always a good way to know which one that you're going to do until you are in that situation. Well, we are going to think about your tween daughter's growth towards independence a bit like going through those yellow lights. We need to assess each situation, and sometimes we need to hit the gas and let her go, and sometimes we need to hit the brakes and help her to stop. Now, tweens still absolutely crave and need the security and support that parents offer. Even though her body may be growing taller and more adult-like, she still needs hugs and snuggles and plenty of attention. Sometimes it may feel like our tween girl is holding onto a stop sign and at the same time motioning for their parents to come towards her. It is a mixed message, I get it. Confusing is an understatement. When you are looking at a kid who looks more like an adult, but she thinks in a lot of ways still like a child, it leaves us feeling unsure of how to best parent. Well, today I want to give you 3 ways that you can build her independence. You're going to help shape her identity, and you're going to grow her sense of responsibility. You ready? Let's dive in. Here we go. The first thing we mamas need to master is this idea of letting go of the small. We have got to get better at choosing our battles and letting a whole lot of things go. I mean, we need to save our focus and our attention to detail for the bigger things, the things that will matter for her whole life, not things that are gonna likely change soon. For example, we need to invest in the ideas of modesty and dressing in a way that is appropriate. But if she doesn't always pick out the same clothes you would, or maybe she doesn't even match, or she has a phase of she's only going to wear blue, well, these are things that we should probably let go of. My sister always used to tell me when I had my babies that each phase does not last long with a baby. but I have found it's also true of kids in general. If we can spend less time criticizing the small, then we are investing in building the relationship and building credibility for the larger things. So if she decides to go vegetarian or vegan or eat things that are only green for a bit, well, let's just give that girl some more protein while she is on that kick and find more green food. We can do that. You can do that. Now, the second thing that us mamas need to master is this idea of believing in her. Believe in your daughter. Say those words with me. I believe in you. I believe in you. Say them every day. Say them to her. Say them so much to her that she believes them. You see, so much is changing in her body. She isn't sure what to do in a body that is stretching out and growing and feeling awkward. And she is living in an environment of peers that notice all those strange and awkward changes. Now, she will not be perfect at everything, nor will she be perfect at most things. And she needs to be supported through that and know that that's normal and that's okay. She is awesome for who she is, not what she does. But anytime that you can point out things that she is good at, well, those are like shining stars in the night sky for her. What is she good at? Validate that. Encourage her with specific statements. Thank you for being ready when I said we were going to leave at 7:45 this morning. That showed a lot of responsibility. Hey, a great job picking out that outfit this morning. I like how it matches and I like how it brings out your eyes. Hey, I really appreciate how you worked on your homework right after school today. That was a great time management skill, and that leaves more time now for you to do some fun things later. Hey, thank you so much for watching your little sister for me while I had a meeting. That really showed love and care for both me and your sister. See, when we take time out to use those affirmation statements to both highlight a positive and then also explain the why, it is going to show her that you believe in her and that it's also going to teach her the whys that you value. See, we need to get specific with what you see and then call out those character traits that you see being built in her. Now, I know that you are going to do great on your test today, honey, because you are a smart girl. You know what? I know you got this. You can try out for this team because you are healthy and you've taken good care of your body and it is ready for this challenge. You've got this, girl. Oh man, you are a brave girl, and I know that you can stand up for what you believe in, even when there are people at school that disagree with you. I think that you can apologize to your friend today for being impatient with her yesterday and saying some things you didn't mean, because I know that you want to be happy today, and I know that you want to enjoy her friendship. So when we are able to model that for her and call those things out, it shows that we believe in her. Now, the third thing that I want to encourage us mamas to do is to leave a good example. I know. It would be much easier to tell her just to listen to our words and not our actions. But the old adage is true. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And the picture that your life is creating is what she is watching, and she's emulating it. If you want her to dress modestly, are you not only talking about it, but are you modeling it? If you want her to value reading and academics, do you talk about lifelong learning and model that by reading yourself, or taking classes, or talking about things that you're learning? If you want her to be good with saving money or being generous with other people, do you not only talk about it, but do you model what it means to save money and to be generous with your money? If you want her to have good manners, not only do you have to tell her to say, please, thank you, and apologize to people, but you've got to do that yourself. Oh, mamas, listen, learning to apologize to our daughters is really important for them to see that we can admit that we were wrong and learn the process of making amends. You see, we live in a time where healthy conflict resolution is rare. So when we can model this is huge in developing her. Okay, well, we've talked about 3 things that we can be doing to build independence, their identity, and responsibility. We do this by letting go of the small, by believing in her, and living out our examples to her. So let's talk about how we work through a decision if she is responsible enough to maybe babysit or stay home alone. So as we start to feel like she is near a new milestone like this, it is really good to give her small areas of responsibility to see how she responds. If you give her an hour of screen time, is she responsible to get off her screen in that hour? If you've told her to be home from playing with the neighbors at 5 o'clock, does she follow through? If you ask her in the morning to get dressed, put on her deodorant, and be ready to start school at a certain time, is she ready? Now, if she doesn't do these things, then you need some more time and you need more discussion to build areas of responsibility. That is why affirming when she does something and pairing it with a character value is such a helpful parenting strategy with our tween daughters. They can see not only what they are expected to do, but also the why. Now, our job is to weigh and evaluate her maturity level so that we can keep her growing, but not push. Now, if we think that she is ready to stay home alone, then we need to do a small trip first. Maybe run a quick 15 to 30 minute errand, and be back and see how she does. And then the next time, try maybe a 60-minute errand. But be clear with expectations. What can she do while you are gone? What can she not do while you are gone? What should she do if there's an emergency and she needs help? Talking through all these things will not only ease her mind, but also yours. And after you've talked through them, it'll give her more confidence. Now, I am a big believer in talking through what a new situation may look like before she finds herself in it. I also think talking through some phrases that could be helpful in that situation are helpful to our girls who have not yet had to navigate those situations. Here are some good questions to ask yourself and think through. Is your daughter asking to do the thing that you're thinking that maybe she's ready to do? If she's not talking about it, don't worry about it yet. Are her peers doing this? Is your child comfortable asking for help? You know, those are things that we need to be talking about and teaching her how to do, because if we're going to give her more independence, she needs to know that she needs to trust her instincts, that she needs to run away if she's in danger, and how to call for help, how to call mom and dad on the phone, how to call the police. Now, if you need to ask for help, does she know who to ask if you're not around? She should look for another mom, preferably one with small children, to ask for help if she needs to find another adult. Now, if she's in a situation and it's not an emergency, what steps can she take to fix the problem? What are some methods that you can help her to think through solutions? Now, if it is an emergency, how should she proceed? What should she do if there's an emergency? Can your child problem solve? Now, one very significant way that will help you discern if your daughter is ready for a next step of independence is assessing her ability to cope with unexpected situations. So what I've created for you today is a really great mother-daughter discussion guide. And it's what-if scenarios that you can use with her. So this would be a really fun mother-daughter date to do over some froyo or some Starbucks. You can access this awesome discussion guide at girltribenation.com/what-if. And what it is a number of what-if scenarios to help her brainstorm ideas and for you to be able to assess how she would handle those situations. And in doing that, Mama, you'll get a sense for whether she's ready for more independence. Well, we've talked a lot about some different great tools to help you navigate your daughter's journey into responsible independence. When you can trust her in the small things, you will be able to trust her with larger things. And larger things, well, they're coming. And so it's important that we begin the work of assessing and giving her more independence with responsibility. I really believe those two words, independence and responsibility, should be held together. Independence is an exciting time for the tween, and as moms, we need to approach it as a yellow light. They may want a green light all the time, and we may want a red light, but we need to navigate the tension of the yellow light. All right, well, I believe in you moms of tween girls. You can do this. No one knows your daughter better than you. It is your exclusive opportunity, responsibility, and privilege to get to walk with her into maturing into a responsible young woman. Thank you so very much for joining me today on the Raising Amazing Tween Girls show. Don't forget to download your very own mother-daughter discussion guide of what-if scenarios, and you can find that at girltribenation.com/what-if. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, I want to invite you to go ahead to like it and subscribe and share it with a friend. Well, thank you for joining us in this discussion of helpful ways to assess your daughter's readiness for responsible independence. I hope that you have a great discussion with your daughter, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now.